Before we get started, here's a quick screenshot of the spreadsheet of available characters and classes. I figured it might actually be smart to include it in the video itself. I also want to clarify a few things ahead of time. Here they are. Just to make sure that I wasn't being confusing last time, I want to clarify units that have already class changed can be class changed again if it's voted for. Only units that are recruited can be changed, so I'm going to be doing Paralog 1 next, but we're not able to change Mozu until after she is recruited. Non-player classes are entirely off limits, and like I said, the next chapter is going to be Paralog 1, so keep that in mind. And here are the units that got changed. We got Silas into Oni Savage, Effie into Kitsune, Arthur into Monk, Elise to Diviner, and Corrin into Sky Knight. Overall, pretty solid, actually. Silas is a solid wall and pair up. I was worried about Kitsune Effie at first, but she actually isn't so bad. Arthur is annoying for support building, but otherwise functional, and also Miracle on him is very funny. Elise is just a monster, and Corrin is Corrin. She'll be good no matter what. And thanks to everyone who left suggestions on the last video, and thanks to those who do so on this one as well. Anyways, so Chapter 8. This chapter was a bit of a pain to record, and it was completely my fault. I insisted on doing a clear that involves a bunch of volatile stuff between random enemy movement and crits and a required hit on Effie. I'll point these out when we come to them. But for now, the team needs to set up to move across the map pretty quickly. Most notably, Effie stands in range of Arthur to take a ride with him next turn. Jacob carries Elise so that she can reach a certain tile next turn, and Corrin has to leave this gap to allow Effie to pair up with Arthur again next turn. She needs to leave that because Corrin has to move last next turn, so we can't move her first to let to let Effie reach Arthur. Odin Dark, Hero of the Ages, arrives and immediately pairs up with Elise, who then runs straight into enemy lines. Don't worry, she'll be fine. Here we do a bit of an odd transfer chain to move as many units forward as possible. Arthur and Corrin are left behind, but the boosts to Silas and Effie let them both catch up next turn. Niles and Jacob do the classic turn 2 strat, allowing Niles to kill each of these mages on enemy phase. His hit rate is a little shaky, boosted a bit by Jacob thankfully, but it's okay if he misses the kill on one of them, as he has a chance to pick it up next turn. Jacob in attack stance can gather some chip experience and weapon experience while he's helping out Niles with his hit rates too.
I guess that's it. Well, I've heard something. Rest a moment. How disappointing. Is there a plan? Allow me. Oh, that's it?
Speaking of reliable, Elise is not that. Odin's Barret bonuses let her mow through all the mages before she gets any level ups, but her hit rates are always in that uncomfortable low 90s range, and considering how much combat she does, it's almost inevitable that she misses something. Elise's only issue is that she isn't fast enough to one-round the fighters over here. On the start of the map, she's only 2 points of speed off. I could have bought her a tonic, but her next two level ups both involve speed, so with a little maneuvering and a lot of greed, she can get those 2 levels before she needs those 2 points of speed. 2 points of speed. It also leaves one fighter alive, but that's arguably a good thing because it lets Odin get a little bit of action in. So Silas and Effie are positioned in such a way that both fighters can see both of them. Effie is their preferred target on account of her wildly lower bulk, but she can only take one fighter. This positioning, however, lets one of them attack her while the other is forced to go after Silas because the first blocks the second space. Their dual strike could have killed her too, but the AI doesn't have the foresight to see that. When an enemy is in range of a target, it will generally choose to attack instead of doing something else, such as setting up for a dual strike or using an offensive staff. We're going to see exactly that with Flora here in a moment. Also, Effie cannot crit here, and she has to get hit, which is very annoying. Arthur needs to be able to heal her in order for them to reach their B support by the end of the map. Otherwise, Effie wouldn't have to worry about crits or hits, but this is just how it is.
We can do this together. In the name of justice! I'll crush them! Oh, please.
I'm here to help.
Let's do this together. Is there a plan?
Now, Odin gets in on the action to kill the weakened fighter.
Overdid it. Again.
Flora doesn't use her staff because she can deal damage to Corrin. This Lancer on the left is a menace. His movement on that enemy phase is random. The other spot he can end up is 2 spaces below Jacob, which is preferable. But if he goes down like this, then Niles has to do a janky set of moves to kill him and grab the house in time. Otherwise, Niles can reach him this turn and get a nice accuracy boost from Arthur too.
Oh, please. Stand down,
I'll do my best.
fiend. Show me what you've got.
Let's do this! I can't go on.
Effie learns even-handed. There was a version of this clear where Effie used the skill to one-round Kilma on turn 8 enemy phase perfectly, but sadly that didn't work out with the support routing. But I was very proud of it, so I'm talking about it now. Jacob, Corrin, and Silas set up to fight the 2 enemies to the north. For some reason, the setup makes both the fighter and the mage attack Jacob. This works out great for me, because if they're diagonal, it becomes much harder to do what I want, but this lines them up one after another, regardless of where the fighter attacks from. Usually, enemies love to attack units that can't fight back like Corrin, but I guess this Dark Mage just really wants that dual strike on Jacob.
Just in time. Well,
Jacob is pretty disappointing with that level up, but he does teach us something interesting. He learned Savage Blow instead of Strength plus 2, so what's going on? As it turns out, when gaining skills retroactively in a promoted class, the game checks to see if you have the relevant base class in your class set. And as Jacob doesn't have Wyvern in his class set right now, all the skills he learns are from Malignite alone. If he was, for example, married to Baruka or Camilla right now, then he would get the 2 Wyvern Rider skills, since marriage would put Wyvern into his class set. It's a little weird, but I kinda like it. Skills are going to inevitably get out of hand with a playthrough like this, and having a little bit of restraint on them is probably going to be more interesting.
You'll be alright.
It's also another layer to consider when building supports, and for you to consider when changing a character's class, so I kind of like that.
I'm with you.
Aw, yeah! Not bad, not bad.
I'll handle this miscreant! I see all!
That's right.
I am Fate's accomplice! Note you well, friend!
Woo!
It's team up time!
Strength is everything.
This should be simple. Everything will be fine. Let's do this together. How disappointing. Oh,
We'll be okay, right? I'll do my best. Uh-oh. What now?
you are not alone!
That was too easy.
Allow me to join you. Get back! So excited!
Not bad, not bad.
Here I am.
Evil shall not prevail! All right, come on.
We can do this together. I'll be your shield.
Anyways, the map is fully cleared. We prevented all 4 possible villages from activating, we visited enough villages for the maximum reward, and we watched Elise go on an absolute rampage. Quite talk about everything I wanted to in this video, so if you have questions, please ask them, but I'll have plenty of time to run my mouth next time when we recruit Mozu in Paralog 1. Sadly, she won't be able to be trained in whatever class you all inevitably stuff her into during that chapter, but rest assured she's going to get plenty of training anyways. See you there.